This video is going to be a tutorial on the look that I'm wearing right now, which I am obsessed with. I created a cut crease look using a ton of colors. I don't even know what I'm gonna name it, but I know it's like corally, it's using glitter. What inspired me for this look is that I recently made a purchase of some Colourpop eyeshadows. I never own any of their regular eyeshadows, and I purchased these four. Just wanted to create a look using these colors. Anyways, if you want to see exactly how I created this look, then just keep on watching. Bye. So I began with my lids already primed, and I'm first taking the color Paper Tiger, which is a beautiful mustard yellow eyeshadow, super pigmented as you can see, and I'm just running that in my upper crease in a windshield swiper motion. The shadow is so pigmented that I only really had to dip into the shadow 2 times to get this pigmentation. Like, it's super pigmented. So blend until everything is nice and smooth. And I'm also going to take this color down into the lower lash line. And what you guys see on the side is a little bit of powder, just because I wanted to protect that area so it doesn't get like dirty on the side. Like, I wanted the look to be sharp. Then next I took Poodle, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like a pinky, yeah, like a pink color, and I'm placing that one slightly lower than the previous shadow, right into the crease as well. Same moving motion, so windshield swiper motion and little circular motions so it can blend nicely. And I'm also extending it to like the tail of my brow so that I can get that winged out effect. Next, I took Making Moves, which is slightly darker than Poodle or Puddle. I really can't pronounce that color. I think it's Puddle. But this one, I'm going to place it a little bit lower, mainly on the outer V, as you can see there. So I pack on the color there and then bring it slowly into the crease once I don't have too much pigmentation on it. And this time I'm using a smaller brush. I'm going to leave the names of the brushes that I use down in the description box because they're kind of new in my collection and I really don't know all the numbers or the names. I'm also running that color on the lower lash line as well to begin smoking it out. To darken up the outer V and give the look a little bit more dimension, I'm taking Mocha and Cocoa Bear from Makeup Geek, and I'm going to be placing this one on the outer V only in a little tapping motion and then little circular motion so that the color stays right there. But then I go back to a blending brush and I just blend around the edges so everything looks nice and smooth. To cut the crease, I'm going to be using my MAC Pro Longwear Concealer and this definer brush from Real Techniques. I am cutting it slightly higher than my natural fold just because we're using glitter and I wanted the lid space to be bigger than what it usually is. Bigger than my own, basically. But you do it as you wish. So I'm just cutting it with that. I'm not being too careful like at the edges, as you can see, just because we're going to go over that with a little bit of eyeshadow anyways. And then I immediately go ahead and set it in place so it doesn't crease with a little bit of translucent powder. Anytime that you feel your cut crease is not as precise as you would like it to be, just grab a small eyeliner brush. This is the E10 from Sigma, and I'm taking, in this case, the pinky shadow, and I'm just going around the edges just so that it looks more defined, as you can see there. So I'm cleaning it up and just making that crease look even more cut. Next, also from Colourpop, I'm going to be taking the shadow called Animal. This is one of their super shock shadows. It's like a pigment and it has a little bit of sheen to it. I love it. Like, not a little bit, it has a lot of sheen to it. So with my fingers, I'm going to begin just packing it in the center of the lid. And then I go in with a more precise brush so that it can help me get into the little edges. And then I went back in with the brown shadows and I just defined the outer V one more time, just making sure that you have a nice transition between the two shades. Next, I'm taking the shadow called Come and Get Me, beautiful name, which is slightly lighter than the Animal one that we used before. And this one, we're going to begin placing it from the inner corners of the eyes up to the center of the lid. You just want to make sure that they both blend in nicely so you can go back and forth with the two until you have a nice transition. I wanted to take the look an extra mile, so I'm going to be using some glitter. I'm using my Too Faced glitter glue and my 3D gold glitter from MAC. Make sure that you're very careful when you're applying the glitter glue, and then I'm going to be using a MAC 242 brush to place the glitter all over the lid. Well, basically from the beginning up until the center, anywhere that we use the lighter shadows. For lashes, I use Queen Bee from Koko Lashes and my glue from Tarte, and I failed to trim them enough, so that's why you see that they're not really sticking well at the beginning of the eye, but it is what it is, next time. And then on the waterline, I use a brown liner, and then I'm just smudging that around using the darker shadows that we use, pretty much all of them. Then now I'm just applying some mascara to the top and bottom lashes, and we're almost done. For the inner corners of the eyes, I'm using Luna. This is a highlighting shade from the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I love this palette because I use it on my face and I can use it as eyeshadows too, so I love them. For blush, I use MAC Peaches, which is one of my favorites. To highlight, I'm going to be using Eclipse from the same Aurora Glow Kit, and I'm going to use it with a very light hand because the eyes were pretty intense, so I wanted a very subtle highlight. And then on the lips, I'm going to be lining them first using Trendsetter from Huda Beauty, which has become my obsession. I love this lip liner. It goes with any lipstick. And for lipstick, I'm going to be using this one by Rimmel London and Kate in the color 14, and that is it. That completes the look. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you, and see you guys next time. Besos. Bye bye.